Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Tanya, and I would like to thank you for joining me in honoring Miss Bessie Coleman in this Women's History Month. So, a little bit about Miss Coleman. Bessie Coleman was born in Waxahachie, Texas in 1892. Her mother was of African ancestry, and her father was of African and Native American ancestry. Due to discrimination in the United States, however, she went to France to attend an aviation school to become a pilot. In 1921, she became the first American woman to obtain an international pilot license. Coleman came back to the United States and became a stunt pilot. She also raised money to start a school to train African American aviators, hoping to afford them opportunities that were not available in the U.S. Coleman was killed in 1926 during an aerial show rehearsal. Her barrier-breaking life, determination, and impressive career accomplishments continue to provide inspiration to others to this day. Well, because I knew we had no aviators, neither men nor women, and I knew the race needed to be represented along this race's important line, so I thought it my duty to risk my life to learn aviating and encourage flying among men and women of the race, who are so far behind the white men in this special line. I made up in my mind to try. I tried and was successful. Bessie Coleman, excerpt from Aviatrix, Must Sign Life Away to Learn Trade. Chicago Defender, October 8th, 1921. So let's just talk a little bit about her early life in Texas. Bessie Coleman was born in a one-room cabin on January 26, 1892. She was one of 13 children. Her birth was neither recorded on a birth certificate nor in a family Bible. Her mother, Susan, and her father, George, could neither read nor write. It is not known whether Bessie's parents, both Texas-born, were enslaved before the Civil War. Susan's family was originally from Georgia and had migrated to Texas before her birth. George's family had significant Native American roots. 3 of his grandparents were Native, most likely Choctaw or Cherokee. His father was from Indian Territory and his mother from Missouri. Coleman was born within the Jim Crow era, a time when racial caste system operated across the country between 1877 and 1965, and backlash against emancipation and the abolishment of slavery. Local and state governments, especially in the South, disenfranchised African American through legal means, and racist mobs violently threatened the lives, housing, and public places were legally or socially segregated by race. Even while facing the violence and barriers created by Jim Crow segregation, George Coleman bought a small plot of land in Waxahachie, Texas, probably eating that up, 30 miles south of Dallas. Bessie Coleman's early childhood was a happy one, spent playing on the front lawn, edged by red and yellow roses, and attending church on Sundays. In 1898, Coleman started school. 2 years before the U.S. Supreme Court had established the legality of the separate but equal doctrine in schools with the Plessy versus Ferguson decision. The racially segregated school she attended was a one-room, wooded building that had students in grades 1 through 8, with only one teacher for all. Coleman walked 4 miles from her home to school, where she was taught reading, writing, and arithmetic, often without textbooks or enough paper and pencils. Intelligent, uninhibited, and eager to learn, she quickly established herself as a star student in math. In 1901, Coleman's life changed when her father left the family. It's possible his decision could have been influenced by hundreds of lynchings in the South and violence specifically in Texas. George was of both Black and Native ancestry. Hatred and violence toward Natives were also part of Texas history. However, in Oklahoma, Georgia's native ancestry could offer him an escape from the violence created by his double bind in Texas. In Indian Territory, he could enjoy the full rights of citizen. At the age of 45, Susan Coleman became a single mother at a time when most black households were expected to be led by men. She became a cook and a housekeeper for a white couple. Susan ensured the education of her children through a traveling library where Bessie Coleman learned about important people and accomplishments in black history, such as Harriet Tubman. Among those, Coleman read to her sisters at bedtime was Uncle Tom's Cabinet, written by an abolitionist, and it was popular among progressive whites, but less so among blacks because it depicted docile, enslaved black people. "I'll never be a Topsy or an Uncle Tom," Bessie said after closing the cover. Years later, Bessie announced her ambition to make Uncle Tom's Cabinet into a hangar for a flying school. Every year, Bessie's school schedule was upset by the cotton harvest. Cotton drove many decisions, causing the school to shut down as soon as cotton picking began, and Bessie worked in the fields. After completing school, she worked as a laundress, collecting, washing, and delivering laundry, all while she dreamed of escaping Waxahachie, Texas, for better opportunities. She did briefly when she attended Langston Industrial College in Oklahoma, but could not afford one semester, so she dropped out and moved to Chicago by 1919. She was living with two brothers who had also moved to Chicago. Both of her brothers had also served in the military in France as member of the 370 Regiment of Illinois National Guard. So, I ask when you get a chance, do some more research on Miss Bessie Coleman. And with that, happy Women's History Month, and until the next time, make it a wonderful day.